Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're working with another one of my patterns. I still have no idea what number we're at. But this one, I changed it up a bit. Instead of doing the smallest ones like we already did, or the medium-sized ones that we already did, I mixed it up so that way it goes small, medium, small, medium, small, medium, until it gets to the middle, and then it goes with a larger diamond, and then goes back to the small medium thing again. And this time I was prepared. I knew the strings were going to get used up a lot. We've already kind of figured that out before. But this one was kind of nice because it was a little bit easier to track. Like a lot of times I'll put the pattern up on the screen and I'll follow it, knot for knot. This one I put up on the screen, but I let it be up like zoomed out, because doing the actual pattern itself, I didn't need to know like where it was or what was going on. That part for me was already pretty easy, especially since we've already done similar patterns already. But what I was able to do was able to kind of see like, okay, we're progressed from here to here to here, and that way I could find the center real easy. And because it was changing up, it wasn't having to count as much. It was just like visually easier to figure out where I was, what was going on, and when the change up comes. And I love that. I thought that kind of going into it, that was what I kind of wanted from it. And I'm really happy to say that it turned out. Now, as far as the string lengths, yeah, I cut my strings in thirds. Yeah, it turned out I got okay tassels. They're not super long, but they balanced out better. I think I actually got the kumi more centered this time. The strings were actually kind of way more even. And that's got to do with the fact that a single strand is going through the loop, and then I have to shift them off like one to one side and the other to the other side in order to make it so that way we have the red and the blue. So the red got shifted to the left and the blue got shifted to the right. All the gray ones stayed exactly in the sides that they came from, but yeah. And I would say this is like, I had to double up the floss. But we've seen with the bracelets I've done for Mandy, that's not necessarily true. It just makes it so you can have a cool loop, and makes it possible. So there you go. Again, this is a relatively easy pattern if you can do the zigzag knot. If you can do a knot that goes to the right and then changes up and goes to the left, if you can do that, this pattern is super, super easy. If you're learning how to do that, this would be a pattern you could learn on pretty easily. It's just at the corners that you have to use the zigzag knot. And why do I call it a zigzag knot is because if you want to have a pattern that does zigzags, right, and keeps going back and forth, this is the knot you need to be able to make that happen. Whether it's like a zigzag or an arrowhead or whatever, this is the knot that allows the string to keep changing those directions like that. And that's why I always call it that. I don't know, there's probably other web pages, maybe they call it something else. I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's easy for me to remember. It's easy, it's what I've called it since since the 80s. Man, times like this I realized that I've been doing this for a really, really long time. And yeah, kind of is what it is. So it was the late 80s to be fair to me, it was the late 80s, but still. Trying to see where we are. Is this? Yeah, this is the center. Okay, so before I forget, let me just thank my YouTube members for making this possible. Believe it or not, I have, while working on this bracelet, came up with yet another version I'm not even 100% sure how that's going to turn out. I just know that I have another idea that I want to work on. And yeah, so there's this little series of me coming up with designs. Yeah, that's continuing on. And they made this possible. They're the ones encouraging me. If you want to help support the channel, it's really easy. It's $4 a month. You can go ahead and hit the join button down by subscribe and become a YouTube member. It would be awesome to have you guys on board, and you can help influence me or hang out with me on we have a monthly hangout where you can chat about pretty much anything if you want. And yeah, it would be cool. Trying to think what else I have for you on this one. It seems like we've done the pattern, you know, not to death, but we've done it a lot. And it's kind of the same stuff, just different, in the sense that, you know, it's a pattern that you kind of need the templates that I have to be able to put it together. Again, the center diamond is bigger than the rest, and in this case, because they keep changing sizes, it's a little bit more subtle that the center is different. But in a way, I think that it really adds to the overall look and feel for the bracelet. Again, having something subtle in there that's different, like halfway through, definitely like right up my alley. Like I love doing stuff like this. I am curious. I am a little bit tempted in trying to put this pattern onto one of the websites. I don't know. It could be friendshipbracelets.net. Just to see if it can. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they'll appreciate it or frown on it or how that would work, but it's something I'm considering. My biggest problem is it's just really hard to do, and it's really easy to get your pattern rejected, and it's a lot of time for something that may or may not work. So yeah, it's just easier for me to teach you guys how to do it on a pattern that you can kind of draw out the shape of one string and see how that goes, and then, you know, work on a separate string. You can't really do that with those other pattern generators. It just, I don't know. I tried, and I gotta say I hated it. And I heard, I was told by somebody that if I hated that one, I would hate the other websites even more. So I don't know. I am not ready to go through all that again. I have submitted one pattern over on friendshipbracelets.net. I have done one so far. That was for the ones that has a 3D look to it. I made a couple bags out of that pattern. I did submit it over there just to try. It turned out, I mean, it works okay, but it was a lot of work putting it in there. And I had the pattern already, like, on my computer, like, to look at it and just to try to make it happen. I really struggled. Wow, that's crazy. You're still here. Cool, thank you. I've kind of been off on a little ramble tangent there. Sorry. We are getting near the end of this, though. Yeah, I think that's the last of the bigger one. So yeah, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I always appreciate it, and it really means a lot. If you could, hit the like button, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.